What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Joshdifferent.
Okay, so you've done some research and figured out that the person you're with most likely has borderline personality disorder. But maybe you're also starting to wonder if her condition might be even worse than you originally thought. Do you get the sense that she really has no ethics, morals, or empathy, even though she can talk a good talk? Does she almost always seem to get off on hurting you or hurting other people? Do you feel like you're constantly being manipulated, deceived, exploited, dominated, or downright bullied? If so, you may be dealing with someone who has borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, which is an incredibly toxic combo. These diagnoses, you will suffer major psychological damage.
This is my second channel actually, Josh Different Perspective, but I have been posting on this channel I think 11 months, but I got some videos that are uploading right now. I got like 3 different videos that are uploading. So it's like 2 days after Christmas, and I was on, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was on YouTube, and I was just scrolling through, and I haven't been on this channel in a while, but some videos popped back up on my recommended page of people who dated borderline personality disordered individuals, which I have, and I just wanted to share my perspective on it and just my thoughts and my experience. So
Leave a massive hole in your heart, leave you with so much confusion that is so deep your head will be spinning for months, years, maybe even for the rest of your life. I'm Lise LeBlanc. Today I'm talking about 10 signs that your partner
might have both borderline and antisocial personality disorder.
About over a year ago, actually, it was like, so it's December now. It's a couple days before the New Year's. Christmas was 2 days ago. It's the 27th because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And Christmas was 25th, obviously. But so last August, so a year and like 3 months ago, I dated a partner that I also went to high school with. I dated a partner. It's funny because I didn't talk to this person in high school. But after high school, I decided to talk to them. So anyway, let's start the story. So, this person was somebody who went to my school. And when I decided to hit them up, it was actually a joke. So I was hanging out with some of my friends back in my hometown. I was hanging out with some of my friends. And I was just messaging random people. So during that time, let's be honest, I was super depressed. But I was making good money, and I was depressed. But now looking back, after going to therapy, after learning things about my family, after which you can see that in the videos, the past videos that I posted on here, talking about the narcissistic family scapegoat, and just waking up to certain things in my life. I didn't realize how depressed I was then, because everybody around me was depressed, and everybody in my hometown and my family and even my ex's family and stuff, everybody suffered from mental illness to some degree, or everybody would normalize mental illness or depression or anxiety like it was just like drinking water, you know what I'm saying? it was never a thing where it's like, we can get over this, we can get past this. It was more so everybody would say, including my ex, including my mom, including the people that are around me, that's just how we are. That's just how it is. People are depressed. That's life. You know what I'm saying? It was never really like a conversation of how do we fix this, or let's go to therapy. And I will say too, therapy doesn't fix everything, because I noticed that I had 3 different therapists, so I noticed that some therapists aren't very well educated on these certain topics, or they try to stay away from those certain topics. I feel like a lot of therapists just want to do their job in the I'm not gonna say a lot, I'm gonna say some want to do their job in the sense of just keeping you coming back consistently in order for you to have like conversations and conversations. But in regards to actually fixing the issues that you keep coming back for, I'm not sure if therapists are really like Therapists are soundboards, but in regards to fixing issues or putting you in position to mentally tap out of the mental turmoil that you are in, most therapists are not here for that. And society won't tell you that because society is built off of money and greed and miscommunication, suppression, and control. That's just my perception of it. So a lot of these therapists are honestly not conducive or helpful when it comes to moving forward and tapping out of that mental turmoil. But let's get off that topic. So back to, dating the borderline. So um, how it started. So like I said, I messaged them as a joke, and at the time that I messaged them, they had a boyfriend, but I did not know that because they didn't post their boyfriend, um, and they didn't show that they had a relationship. So I just messaged them, and then it kind of went kind of fast. It was like, I was messaging multiple people, like as a joke. But like I said, I was at the park with my friends. I was super depressed. I hit up these people, and this person was very engaging. And then from my childhood, considering the fact that I'm the family scapegoat, I've always been like an oversharer, and that's what I'm still working on to this day. Um, so I get into conversations talking about her situation, and she started talking about how her dad was, and I started talking about how my dad was, and stuff like that. And we kind of related in a sense, and it was crazy because like I remember when I went to her house for the first time. And before I went for the first time, I was kind of like hesitant on it, not because I knew she was toxic. I did not know she was toxic at all. I was hesitant because, like I said, I was still dealing with my own issues, and I was kind of like, dang, like this happening so fast, like what I'm saying. I was kind of like dodging her, like, oh, I gotta work, and it's crazy because they say borderline women like that. They like a bad boy, or they like somebody who like don't pay them no mind because I guess that's how their dad is. Because she will always say her dad is a narcissist, and at the time back then, before I started doing research, 5 to 6 years later, I did not know what narcissism was. I didn't know what a narcissist was. I just thought it was a cocky person. So I'm just like, okay, your dad's a narcissist, okay. So I just brushed it off. So yeah, so we relating on our situation, and yeah, so we clicked real fast, and then I remember, so I finally went to her house after like being around the bush, keep telling her I'm busy, keep telling her I'm busy. Finally get to her house, and when I get to her house, like I'm not used to girls just let me in that easy, but she like just let me in her house, and I'm like, you gonna just let me come in your house, whatever the case may be, like. Her family was very like, her mom didn't like me at first, but her family was like real lackadaisical, but also like very blunt and rude, you know. And it was weird. So like, yeah, her and her mom had like a very toxic relationship with each other, which I'm learning now that borderlines do that. Like they were best friends, but they hated each other. They talked trash about each other to coworkers and then stuff like that. And it was crazy. So she let me in her house, and everything moved fast. That's when the love bombing started. We wasn't even dating yet. And then that's when like she came over to my house, and we slept together really fast. And everything was just going so fast. And then she wanted me to date her. She was like, "You're not gonna ask me out." And at the time, like I said, I was depressed and I was looking for like a partner, kind of. But it went so fast that I vividly remember being on her porch, and she dressed up in a nice outfit, and yeah, she looked nice and stuff like that. But now I'm really not a surface level person, meaning looks is not the biggest thing ever. Which I do like looks. I love beautiful women and stuff like that. But my point is, you can be as cute as possible. You can be beautiful, but if you get on my nerves, or if you can be beautiful, but or if we don't resonate with each other, if I can't have conversations with you and stuff like that, it's like, looks ain't all that. You know what I'm saying? I can have Jessica Alba next to me, but if she get on my nerves, or if I can't have a conversation with her, then Jessica Alba can go in the trash can. But anyway, so this is before the issue started because I was still being love bombed. So she was mirroring me. So I'm on her porch. She's in a nice thing. I still remember the video vividly. You feel what I'm saying? Nice clothes, beautiful, whatever the case may be. Um, but I'm sitting there thinking, like, how did I get here? How did I get here? How the hell did I just hit her up, just start talking to her, and now we're dating, and it the reason why the love bombing is so crazy is because you be in it well, at least me consciously, I was in it thinking like, okay, this is wonderful, but something about it was kind of like a Disney movie. It was kind of weird. It was weird, but I was just like, okay, this is good. This is what I've been wanting the whole time. This is what I've been looking for. But something inside of me knew something was off. But I didn't know it was that off because I didn't know about personality disorders, nor did I know about narcissism. And I think this girl was BPD with NPD traits, or she might have been BPD and NPD comorbid. Because after that mask came off, after the love bombing, so anyway, so it's crazy because another red flag was the fact that she would get in the car with her mom and me and stuff, and she would have conversations, and she would talk about how her ex was so toxic, he was abusive, and he spit on her. And I kept asking her, like, why you keep going back to him if he was so toxic? And she would be like, because I'm stupid. And I would be like, hmm. And then she had another ex that this was the ex she left she left him for me. But I didn't know that at the time that it happened like that. So basically, she was with this ex, that the one I'm about to talk about, and I guess when I messaged her randomly, she's just like, "Oh, another opportunity." So she just literally left him. Because later on, she told me how she left him, and I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Years later, like I said, we was together for almost 6 years. Years later, she just told me like, "Yeah, I was just sitting in the room with him, and I just told him I don't want to be with you no more," and she just got up and left after being with him for a year. So I should have known that that was eventually type of thing was going to happen to me at the discard her. So basically, I was a shiny object for her at the moment because I remember another red flag was she was sitting there and telling me how she started dating me because I had abs. And I was just like, hmm. Oh, she said I had abs. And then another time she told me she started dating me because I had a car and her ex didn't have a car. Now, a lot of girls nowadays in 2022 are materialistic, but it was how she said it. So those were red flags. Then, not only that, also, I think she was projecting with that other ex when she said that he spit on her and was doing all this stuff. I think she was doing it because this was one of the biggest red flags. She didn't have none of her exes on her media pictures. But then when I went on her Facebook, I realized that she had so many pictures. But when you go back, she never deleted pictures of any of her exes. So all her exes were on her Facebook. They were just in older pictures. So um, she got mad at me because my ex messaged me, right? Then I'm like, but you still have your pictures of your exes on your Instagram. I mean your Facebook, right? So I blocked my ex or whatever, and I'm like, okay, delete those pictures and block your ex since you worried about me or whatever. Just petty BS, you know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm 27 now. At that time, I was 20 when we started dating. You know what I'm saying? We dated from 20 to 25. Um, and right after we broke up, I turned 26. Now I'm 27, but Libra gang. Yeah. So she wanted me to block my ex so bad and not talk to my ex. And then time goes on, and I think we had another conversation, whatever the case may be, and she never blocked her ex. So I'm like, why you keep harping on me block my ex? Mind you, I think she was talking to so many people while we were together still, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if she was, but I think she definitely was talking to multiple people because just based off of just I have a very good memory just based off of certain things. Oh, another red flag was when we first started dating. Like, I'm the type of person that if I message somebody, the message stays there. She will message people and just delete the message. So inside of her inbox of Instagram, she ain't have no messages. No messages. It could have been for her mom, blah, blah, blah. That's a red flag. Nah, you delete all your messages. Nah, something is off. Something, nah, she hiding something. But, yeah, so, and another weird thing about her family, it was almost like her mom was trying to get me to marry her so bad, and it was almost like her family was trying to sell her to me. Like, I remember her brother used to make comments and said she was a hoe and stuff like that. She was like, "Oh no, I was never a hoe," whatever. Which I think she was a hoe. I think she was like the neighborhood hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I just so happened to, when I got there, I guess the way I was operating, I was kind of keeping her from being a hoe because it was like her instinct to be a hoe. I guess I don't know. And there was like basically like, yeah, this guy's a decent guy, you know, um, so let's get him to marry her so he can basically get her to stop making our family look bad. Because that's another thing. They were very like bougie, so I feel like they were happy that she found me. In a sense, I feel like her mom wanted me to marry her real bad. She would come in the room like, "Yeah, don't get married, whatever." They'd be like, "When you, when are you and her going to get married?" And I would just be like, "Yeah, I don't know." But I feel like the older generation, like her grandma and all of them and stuff, did not want me to marry her because I was black and she was white. Let me just put that in there. So yeah, I don't think they wanted her to marry me. They liked me, but it's like, nah, we want you to marry a white guy. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. And my family really didn't care, but my family is a little off their rocker as well. My family's like the opposite of them in the sense of they're both toxic, but my ex's family was super blunt, and my family is like covert, like they're full of covert narcissists and stuff like that. So they're sneaky with it and pretending like everything's happy and pretending like they're so respectful, but they're really full of shh. You feel what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so the love bombing happened. After the um, love bombing lasted for a while, and then a lot of weird stuff started happening. You know, with her dad, and I almost got into a fight with her dad, and just her brother started acting weird. Like I said, their whole family is full of personality disorders. But so is mine. Um, you know what I'm saying? But it's just levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's a spectrum for sure, and like I said, her whole family was just like something was off the whole time, but I don't even know why I was there. Like sometimes I was sitting in the living room, like, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? But I was together with her for 5 years, so you think like, okay, eventually something's gonna change. Or when you're young, you don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we started dating when I was 19, turning 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm super depressed, and it's normal to me because my mom and the rest of the individuals that was around me are disordered as well. So, and then I'm operating in a disordered fashion in a way, although I knew I was different. It's crazy for me to grow up in a family of 6 kids and a mom and dad and be one of the only ones to be not mentally disordered on that level. Now, obviously, I'm still different. So I call myself Josh Different. I'm different in my family, then I'm different in society because I had to operate within that toxicity. And so I'm not perfect either, you know what I'm saying? I might not have a personality disorder like BPD or NPD, which runs in my family and runs in my ex's family, but I still have a lot of issues that I need to work on. The only thing that separates me from them is that I don't have a personality disorder. I'm willing to work on myself. I'm conscious of all of my problems that I have which I have worked on myself a lot within the last year and a half. I'm not even the same Josh that was dating her. I'm not the same Josh that was dealing with my family. I'm not the same person. Like, if I was around any of them again, which I won't be, um, because I'm no contact with all of them, I would literally, they would have to re-meet me. Like, I'm not the same person. Can you imagine, like, I've been thinking about this all the time, like 5 years from now, I'm probably going to be a completely different person. Like, I'm going to, like, when I'm 30, like, I left them at 25. Broke up my ex at 25, then I turned 26, left my family at 25. So when I'm 30, it'll be 5 years that I no longer deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna look back like, wow, so much has happened within the time already. Rest in peace to my cousin. My cousin passed away. Um, but yeah, I got way off topic. But yeah, dating her was crazy. So like after the love bombing, certain stuff started acting weird. Like when my cousin died, they were kind of like, "Dang, Josh, you keep losing people," type thing. Like it was like a joke to them because they didn't have no empathy. And then the mom would say, "We have a crazy family." She would keep saying it all weird. Or so my ex had another friend who I think is a narcissist, not a BPD, and we would go to like family events, and she would tell the other family members, or even tell me like, "Yeah, her friend is just like her." And she would say just like that, "She's just like her." And I'm like, because she knows her daughter's disorder, whatever. Um, and then another red flag was the fact that they had this one uncle that stayed away from the family. He stayed away. Um, he stayed away from the family because he knows their disorder. But he not gonna tell me that. Oh, and then the one aunt when I first started dating her is like, she's like, "Are you gonna treat this one right?" Talking to my ex, and I was kind of looking like, "What the heck? How, do you hear all these red flags? How did I miss all of these red flags?" You feel what I'm saying? So so I feel like she started to devalue me because that's the last stage. She started to devalue me multiple times, and we would break up. So every time we broke up, I broke up with her. The only difference was the last time we broke up, I tried to go back and she said no. She literally texted me no. I was just like, yeah, let's try to work on this. And it was just because of the trauma bond. And I did care for her a lot. I did love her, but she obviously didn't love me because she moved on super fast. Like, either she was already talking to the guy, which she probably was, or I caught her off guard because one of my friends seen her on the dating app. So I hopped on the dating app and I messaged her on the dating app like, "Yo, I try to be petty." I was like, "Good luck to be petty." But oh, that's another thing. During the discard, I didn't know it was a discard, but I didn't know she was devaluing me. But which I text her mom now. I'm like, "Yo, to be smart, I was petty. Like I told you, it was like 7 years ago. I'm like, your daughter would devalue me." I was using all the terminologies to see if they would get it. Because, like I said, towards the end, I started to figure her out. And I started to piece things together, and I started to notice because, like, for example, borderlines typically break up with somebody and say that they're a narcissist, or they say that they're emotionally abusive or verbally abusive, whatever, the lies that they make up. You feel what I'm saying? And her aunt did the same thing to her partner that she dated when she lived in a different state. So I started to notice the patterns in her family in general, and I started to notice the patterns with the grandmom and the grandfather that used to marry marry the grandmom, and then we went around the grandfather, and her uncle was trying to get him to go back around the grandmom, and he's like, "No, I'm not going around that crazy bee," or whatever. Like, all of that stuff started to click and make sense. Like, obviously, this runs in her family as well, the BPD and the MPD and stuff. It just shows up a little differently, you know. And everything started to make sense. So my dumb ass, right? I messaged her some stuff that I found online, and that basically triggered her. Like, that made her lose her SHIT, and she basically like discarded me and says, "Never message her again." Did I message her brother like, "Yo, what's up with your sister?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know how females are." No, that's not a normal situation like that. I've had other breakups before. You know what I'm saying? This is not as simple as you making it seem out to be. And then other red flags was like, we would go on vacations, which we went on a lot of vacations, beach vacation stuff. We would go on vacations, and she would do weird stuff, and I would call her out, and her brother would be like, "That's how she's always been," and stuff like that. And I'm like, what does that mean? But I get it now. You know what I'm saying? She's a handful to the family, so they're like, she finally felt a decent guy, too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people was acting, saying, and they were kind of like, how the heck did she find this guy? Like, this dude is a solid guy. How did she find him? It's only a matter of time for them to fall apart. And then they kind of, I think they started to get a little comfortable with me. They started to get a little comfortable with Josh because it was like, wow, he can handle her. He can stop her from being a whore. He's a solid dude. He's not doing nothing malicious. They gave me the key to their house, which I feel like they don't got no boundaries, so they would have did that with anybody. They probably did it with her new boyfriend. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a crazy situation. Even though I figured her out during the end of the relationship, before I got completely discarded, it still kind of messed me up because it was unbelievable. And as corny as that sounds, it was unbelievable. No, it was unbelievable because I didn't know this type of stuff existed. And then it kind of like took the pressure off the relationship breakup when I realized what happened with my family, the fact that I was a narcissistic family scapegoat, and the fact that my family were scapegoating me and talking trash about me and teaming up with her and doing little sneaky stuff, especially my mom. My mom is the devil. Like the fact that they were doing that, um, kind of took my, it kind of went from healing from this toxic situation to now I gotta heal from having to go no contact with my whole family. So the one thing I can say is everybody that's trying to heal from that, just remember that there's nothing you can do about it. Continue to work on yourself. It's probably best that you did step away. Like I noticed that when I was in that relationship, it was making me gain weight. I was uglier. Like y'all gonna think that I'm crazy, but like I'm telling you, my skin got clearer. My smile is brighter. I lost 30 pounds as soon as I left that relationship. And that's on my other channel. I got a video on that. Um, it's mind-boggling, you know what I'm saying, to deal with these type of things in this society. This is spiritual warfare. I just wanted to share that experience, or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to talk about that because it's a crazy situation, and now I live on the complete other side of the United States, and I don't live near no family, no friends. Only talk to one person from my hometown, barely, and yeah, I'm basically starting my whole life over. Not basically, literally am starting my whole life over at 27. I've learned a lot about myself. I'm still learning. I was supposed to have a job interview tomorrow, which I already have a job. I was working 2 jobs, but I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't even want to work another job right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep working on myself. I want to keep focusing on my YouTube. I have to be real with myself. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not even going to go to the interview. I have a job right now. I have a full-time job, but I was working 2 jobs, and then I quit one job, and then I was going to get another job. But I'll just sat there and be real with myself. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. But, money's still coming in, you feel what I'm saying? And I just want to tell everybody who's going through the situation, everything is going to be all right. Subscribe, baby.